I'd like to invite Ahmed Odeh to the stage, who is a managing partner at MIO law firm, a wonderful human being. If you have any dispute issues in the UAE, he's one of the most down-to-earth lawyers you will ever know. Welcome. Hala, hala.
Hello. I realize I'm the only one wearing a suit here. I think. The only guy. Closer? Move the mic. All right. Oh, much better. Thank you. It's okay? All right.
I think when you have guests coming to the chamber, they're always a little confused of how to dress. I got asked that question. I'm just like, smart casual. And someone said, can I come in board shorts? I was like, it would be nice, but highly not something people would necessarily allow you into the premises with. So no, you're dressed for the occasion. Ahmed, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in the legal scene here in the UAE, and how long you've been here, right? You grew up here.
Yeah, I was born in Abu Dhabi, so I lived here for the majority of my life, and I'm a second-generation lawyer. My father's been a lawyer before me, so he came in 1975 and set up a law firm in Abu Dhabi in 1984, and retired in 2014, so I took over since then. But I have been in the legal industry in the UAE since 2005, and I've dabbled into mostly every part of law imaginable, and more recently in crypto. But the bread and butter, what I do is commercial litigation. So if you have a dispute, if someone owes you money and you need to go after them, we act as the bridge between you and the courts. So we go to the courts and we represent you in order to get a decree and recover that money on your behalf. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, the core of what we do. Yeah.
Amazing. I also want to mention again that if you do have any questions on the legal scene, Ahmed will be here during the networking event when we take a break. Extremely down-to-earth human being. So take advantage. you know the lawyers who are very stuck up and it's hard to approach them and you think that they're going to take all your money. He's not one of them.
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean, you take your cut, but you're nice about it. You're nice.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to ask you, what's your take on the crypto regulations here in Dubai? How do you see this scene evolving, and what do you think is the future for crypto in the UAE?
Similar to NFTs, it's very much in its early stages. I mean, people thought it was early last year, the year before, but it's still actually very early. My take on it is that you have to look at UAE not as just one country, it's several jurisdictions in one country. There are lots of small cities and doing their own laws and playing out their own laws in that space. So for example, you have two financial free zones in UAE, the Abu Dhabi Global Markets sitting in Abu Dhabi, as well as the Dubai International Financial Center, right? These are financial free zones that are mandated by the country. They have their own laws in which they are governed by the laws of England and Wales. And then you have the mainland companies, right? And the mainland companies, as we all know, some of them are regulated under Dubai, others in Abu Dhabi, and some of them have their own competent authorities. So when we talk about crypto, similarly, the same thing is happening here, where the IFC, ADGM, the mainland, they're all going to have their own separate independent authorities for crypto regulation. So as a company starting out, as a crypto company starting out in the country, you have to find out who has first mover advantage, who is coming out with the regulations quick enough and clearly enough so that you could get regulated with them and be under the sort of auspices and the protection of the government. So far, and to put it very simply, ADGM is the winner, bar none. They have FSRA, which is the Financial Services Regulatory Authority. They have come up with very clear guidelines, regulations, AMLs for financial institutions, as well as virtual asset platforms. So that means you could go and get regulated with them, and you can set up a bank account with them and all that stuff. As it stands, the IFC, even the MCC, you could set up a crypto license with the distributed ledger technology or proprietary trading, but you still have to go and get approval from the Securities Commodities Authority, which is not easy to obtain. And so far, we're trying to apply on behalf of clients, but you need to have a solid business plan and lots of money laundering, anti-money laundering policies in place. So this is in a nutshell what's happening. Binance, for example, they've done something really cool. They've actually tied up with the government, the UAE government. So this way, they're opening up the path for the other smaller exchanges and virtual asset platforms to set up in the country. If you look at the law that just came about, the one that came about 2 weeks ago for the establishing of the Virtual Asset Regulation Authority, it's just basically the government saying, we're going to set up an authority for this to regulate crypto. Fantastic law, it's very clear, it's got a lot of mandates to explain exactly what this authority is going to do, but that doesn't mean that today you can go and set up a company. It's not established yet. There's nowhere to go to actually submit that application, right? So we have to be real right now. The best places to do it, I believe, are DMCC and ADGM being the winner.
And what are the kind of questions people come to you with after they set up? I'm sure there's still a lot of gray area when it comes to, like you're saying, it's still in its infancy. What are some of the most, I guess, things that people are bothered about when it comes to crypto companies here?
Oh, that's it. It's got mines in it, that question. So usually it's how much does it cost? Is it
And how much does it cost?
Where, DMCC or
DMCC?
DMCC, I think it's a regulated, but it's a non-financial company. It should cost you anywhere between 50 to 100,000 dirhams to set up the license, right? So that's sort of in a whole, without the rent and without all that stuff. In ADGM, it all depends on the activity that you want to provide. And there are lots of classes of activities. If you want to go to the highest one, which is the virtual asset platform, crypto exchange, you're talking about $120,000 plus levies on fees on the transaction. So the government takes a fee on every crypto transaction that is taken, which is great. Basically, that's the government's protection, saying that we're going to protect you in case anything goes wrong.
All right, so so it's relatable to the audience, and let's talk a little bit about DEXs, decentralized exchanges, right?
Yeah.
And what is it? Firstly, right, for people who don't dabble in the world of crypto, what is a DEX? And after that, we'll get into talking a little bit about investments in crypto. So Ahmed is a crypto investor, and he's been playing in this space for a while. And he has a lot of tips and tricks on how to look at how not to get your fingers burnt, right? And what to look out for when you're trying to handpick projects to invest in. So we'll start with DEXs. Explain a little bit about what is a DEX.
Before we talk about DEXs, let's talk about what is a virtual asset platform, which is pretty much similar to any stock market platform. This is a platform where you go on so that you can trade cash to crypto to USDT, and you can buy any coin you like on the platform itself. But a virtual asset platform is divided into two, centralized and decentralized. The decentralized is called the DEX, and the centralized is where you have a company similar to Binance, to L-Bank, KuCoin. These are centralized exchanges where you could fill out KYC paperwork and then proceed to pay via credit card or bank transfer. You could go and buy your crypto there. A DEX, however, is a whole different animal. It's literally the people setting up a bank. Everybody just comes together and they provide liquidity on that platform so that you can purchase your BTCs, your Ethers, and so on.
Which is what we're doing on Unit, by the way.
Correct, yeah. Similar to Unit, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and that's it. Of course, there's a lot of benefits and also risks associated with DEXs, where you could buy great projects that are still under the radar at fantastic prices, and then in the hope that they can sort of go to the moon. And also you could buy certain coins at lower gas fees, or say lower commissions than centralized exchanges, which usually take about 0.5% of the transaction itself. The risks and the downsides of that is that a lot of the projects that are on those DEXs are BS projects, right? They don't, they're not exactly well audited or doxed, and you could get wrecked with those projects. So you should be very, very careful with what you're investing in those platforms.
So what got you into the world of crypto? Why did you start investing?
I got fascinated with the idea of a blockchain being fast, secure, reliable, and that's what started it all. Because by virtue of me being a lawyer, I always wanted to sort of protect my data, the information, and I wanted to, first of all, adopt a private blockchain. I wanted to see how that looks like in the firm, and then I found, okay, wow, there's other public blockchains that are killing it in the market right now, and I started getting deeper and deeper into this. So like Polkadot substrates, like Avalanche, Cosmos. So I got really fascinated by the tech, even though I don't understand it. And let's be honest, most of us don't. It's genius stuff. But I found that this is something that nobody could stop. This is definitely the future. And if history is any indication, you cannot stop the level of progress of tech. It's going to happen. And I'm so happy that Dubai has actually been the first country that's gone off and started the regulation process for it. Yeah.
So what tips would you give our audience if they want to get their hands into crypto? How would they handpick where to start?
Okay, before I get into the tips, I just want to say...
it is live streamed,
yeah,
so...
the thing is with crypto is that there's an underbelly of side of crypto that nobody talks about. Or if you want to find out about it, go to YouTube and search for crypto scams, crypto rug pulls, getting wrecked. And then you'll see massacres. You'll see blood all over the wall, right? On a lot of crypto scams.
We're not being dramatic.
It's a sad world actually for many investors that got into projects which they genuinely believed were going to the moon and stuff like that, and didn't happen. I'm one of those guys, right? I invested. I got good gains on certain projects, and I took those gains and put them on other projects that I thought were going to blow up, and they didn't. Right, and a good chunk of them you can just go on CoinMarketCap and just pick up any project over the 200 listing, and then you'll see it's just pump, bam, down. Right? And there's a reason to it, because those are sort of Ponzi-nomics. Those are sort of projects that were never meant to last in the first place. How do you spot a project? Is first of all use case. Find out whether this project actually has utility in the market. Would a company or an institution actually invest into a project for their own use or not? Would you understand the use case of the project or not? If your average go-to standard play-to-earn model project, you buy the NFT and then the roadmap says, you set up a play-to-earn game. That's like it's done 1,000 times, right? There's not much of a real world use case for that. That's in my opinion. Second of all, developer activity. You can monitor developer activity on certain websites on the internet, so you can find out if a project actually has developers working on the project, and if it's gaining momentum, and making sure that the developer activity does not equate to the price of the coin. Because if the price of the coin is not pumping and there's a lot of developer activity in the project, that's good. If the price of the coin is pumping and the developer activity is going down, that's bad, right? So you have to do that comparative analysis and see what projects are actually the developers putting effort into it. 3, branding and positioning. Does it have a strong following? Is it a good community? Is the community contributing to the project itself? Or not? So is it very, very slow? What else could it be? And also, a bit of luck as well. That also goes a long way, I suppose.
And you were going to take the audience through a website, coinmarketcap.com, right? So just make a note of coinmarketcap.com. That's where you can see all the coins, and you can start to really explore the different graphs and see when they go up and when they go down, and start to really do a little research on your own on YouTube to, ask questions about different coins. Like what is the history of Bitcoin? Is it going up? What is the actual, I would say, fundamental principles behind coins like that? I think that's really important. You mentioned that, like you were super excited about the world of blockchain and what it's doing. This isn't about a pump and dump scenario. This is about what is blockchain technology going to do to contribute to humanity. Maybe touch on that a little bit. Like, what do you feel in regard to this decentralized environment that's being created by the use of blockchain technologies?
There's a lot of use case already, and if you check companies like Microsoft, IBM, a lot of logistics companies, insurance companies have already adopted blockchain as part of the processes. But as it stands right now, I mean, of course, it's to make things very, very secure and fast, which is much easier than having their own little ERPs and your standard software. What I think is going to really explode is the ease of transfer of money, the ease of access of information on the Web 3.0. That is going to explode for sure. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If you go on CoinMarketCap, there's a section called categories where you could click on it and see the categories of every single ecosystem. And if you go all the way down, you will find that there are VCs that have invested in certain portfolios. You could open those VC portfolios and see what they're invested in, right? What kind of ecosystems that they're part of. And you could follow them, or you could invest in some of those coins as well. I mean, those VCs are there for a reason. They put a lot of money in those coins, so they must know something probably we don't.
Yeah, I think the thing over here is people don't know if something that they invest in is going to drop to zero. I think that's the scary thing. Yeah. And at UNIT, I think this is what we're super excited about, and the UNIT founding team can talk to you about this. But one of our features on the platform is we've introduced a treasury. What is a treasury? So when you're setting up your DAO or you create a token, you can now put away money into your own treasury on the platform, which allows you to create a floor price for every token or every piece of digital ownership share in that company, right? So when someone goes on the platform, they now can see, all right, the value that this company could drop to as a baseline value is 0.01 cents or $2 or $5 or $10 or $100, $1,000, whatever it is, based on how much money is put aside in this safe. You can think of a treasury as a safe, right? And this is where if your business is doing good, you're going to set more money aside. You're going to make sure that you always have capital value for your business in the long run. And so we're excited because it's exactly this, like when investors are thinking, how on earth do we know what to invest in, right? It feels speculative, like you're going through the speculative process, you're asking people, and hopefully you're only investing money that you have at the side, right? Not money that you need. But hopefully in the future, with powerful technologies like network, and there are other DAOs platforms being set up that are looking at this, but I think UNIT is doing a really phenomenal job in simplifying it. Can I go and see my portfolio of virtual assets and know which ones are performing well and which ones aren't, and then trade them for other things that I believe in more. So if I believe in the work you're doing and I want to put a micro investment into you, I would be able to do that. And I would also know, based on the value of the Ahmed token on the UNIT platform, whether Ahmed's really doing well or not, and whether I want to keep my money with him. Maybe I don't. Maybe I think, 2 years down the line, Ahmed's business not doing too well. He's kind of lost interest. His vision has changed. I don't believe in his vision anymore. I can take my money out, and I still have a book value for that investment that I've put.
Actually, we're talking about a project together, the litigation funding project, where sort of in our firm, we were considering using Avalanche as an ecosystem so that we can fund cases. So what does it mean to fund cases? So let's say we have a big case, a 100 million dirham case that we want to file, but the client doesn't have the money to pay for it, but they're willing if someone else funds it and take a big portion of the recovery. Right now, of course, to fund something like that, it'll cost a lot of money, right? Millions. So what we do is we wanted to go on Avalanche and actually issue tokens, because they've done that through something called an ILO, initial litigation offering. And then you said, well, you can do that through UNIT, right? You could do the ILO through UNIT. You could issue the tokens specifically for investors, so that hopefully when a case is won and the money is recovered, then the proceeds of that will be distributed to all the shares, to all the token holders. great use case. I love it.
That's amazing. All right, maybe we can wrap up by telling the audience and people even watching us on live stream how to get involved in the space of crypto. Like, where does someone begin?
Oh, good question. I'm a big fan of following YouTubers, like good real like YouTubers. So I think a good one would be who's that guy? His name is Guy. Who do you watch? Who do you follow actually on YouTube?
Raoul Pal.
Raoul Pal?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
of
you know
course, of course, all the co-founders at Unit, because they're doing
Yeah.
an amazing job.
Yeah. Paul Barron Network is good. There's a Coin Bureau. Coin Bureau is very good. That's one of the first channels, and they're like 2 million followers right now. So get on that, right, and sort of slowly build up momentum. Go into the Twitters and the Telegrams, but and sort of gain information. And of course, that course of yours and Unit, I'm gonna jump on it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Unitmasters.org. Please do sign up. You'll really gain a lot of value from it. Last thing, what is your sentiment on Emar announcing that they are going to be accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum to purchase properties in Dubai?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The Mac was doing it already under the radar. But yeah, Emar announcing that. And,
Ooh, out in public now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised actually. Of course, then that's just another sort of check in the box saying, okay, now real estate is accepting of crypto. Then if the MR accepts it, and probably a lot of the other developers will, it's going to speed up the the adoption process.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for your
Thank
time.
you.
That was amazing.